If you're obsessed with the supernatural urban anime formula of Neverness to Everness, but want more games to play while waiting for new content, then today I'm going to introduce 10 titles that I think come closest to NTE in different ways. From combat, city vibes, and exploration to the overall anime experience. And I'm going to be completely honest about each one, where it's similar, where it's different, and what type of player should try it first. Before we get into the list, if you enjoy game comparison videos like this, make sure to subscribe right now. My channel is still in its early stages, and every subscription genuinely means a lot. Alright, let's get started. And before we jump into the top 10, I want to quickly explain the ranking criteria, because I'm not judging these games based purely on anime visuals. I'm looking at the combination of urban atmosphere, open world freedom, combat feel, and overall vibe. A game can be similar to NTE in very different ways, and I'll point out exactly where those similarities come from for each one. At number 10 is Honkai Star Rail. I'm placing it at the bottom of the list intentionally because, when it comes to the urban open world aspect, HSR is the furthest from NTE out of all the games in this top 10. This is Hoyoverse's space fantasy RPG focused on an interstellar journey rather than the kind of open urban environment that NTE offers. However, the reason it still makes the list is that it appeals to a very similar audience. Players looking for a high-quality anime RPG with exceptional production values, deeply developed characters, and strong narrative depth. If what you love most about NTE is its story and characters, rather than its urban open world, then Honkai Star Rail is absolutely worth trying. Just don't expect the feeling of cruising through the streets of Hetero. At number 9 is Grand Theft Auto 5. I know a lot of people will be surprised to see GTA 5 on a list of games similar to NTE, but hear me out. Rockstar has confirmed that GTA 5 is available on PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC, with GTA Online supporting up to 30 players. The reason GTA 5 deserves a spot here is that it represents what many players describe as the anime GTA dream, the very idea that NTE is trying to bring to life through an anime-inspired lens. If you strip away the anime aesthetic and gacha systems from NTE, what remains is a freeform city sandbox, where you choose your own vehicle, explore at your own pace, and create your own chaos. That core experience is pure GTA DNA. GTA 5 is the benchmark for city sandbox design. It isn't the same type of game, but if you want to understand why NTE appeals to so many players, then playing GTA 5 will give you a much clearer understanding of the sandbox DNA at the heart of that appeal. At number 8 is Marvel's Spider-Man 2. This is an action-adventure game released on PS5 and PC, featuring both Peter Parker and Miles Morales as playable protagonists. Spider-Man 2 doesn't share the same business model or anime style as NTE. There is no gacha system, and there are no anime characters. However, when it comes to the feeling of moving freely through a detailed open city, this is the ultimate benchmark right now. Whether you're swinging between the skyscrapers of New York in Spider-Man 2 or wall running through Hetero with Nanalie, there is a similar sense of satisfaction that comes from that freedom of traversal. If what you enjoy most about NTE is moving around the city and exploring the world rather than the combat itself, then Spider-Man 2 is an experience you absolutely need to try. At number 7 is Infinity Nikki. This is an open-world styling fantasy game built on Unreal Engine 5, and I know many of you are going to say that this isn't a combat-focused game. And that's absolutely true, but that's exactly why it's on this list. Infinity Nikki is similar to NTE in the sense of exploring a beautiful world, enjoying the relaxing atmosphere of a carefully crafted environment, and experiencing a highly polished anime visual style. If you enjoy those moments of driving through Hetero at night with Persona 5-style music playing in the background, Infinity Nikki delivers that same chill and immersive feeling in its own unique way. This is a game for people who love NTE because of its vibe more than its combat. At number 6 is Genshin Impact. Also developed by Hoyoverse, Genshin is an open-world action RPG that hardly needs an introduction. Unlike NTE, Genshin doesn't take place in a modern urban environment. Its world leans much more toward traditional Asian and European fantasy settings. But the reason Genshin belongs on this list is simple. It remains the benchmark for anime open-world exploration and gacha-based character collection. If you're new to NTE and aren't familiar with how gacha mechanics work, Genshin is one of the most beginner-friendly games for learning those concepts. From a gameplay perspective, both NTE and Genshin also share certain design DNA through their ability interaction systems, even though NTE refers to its framework as the Esper cycle rather than a traditional elemental system. For most viewers, Genshin is still the most familiar point of comparison when discussing games in this genre. At number 5 is Ghostwire Tokyo. This is a game from Bethesda set in a modern-day Tokyo that has been overtaken by supernatural forces. Players use elemental abilities to fight enemies while exploring the city. If the thing you love most about NTE is the concept of a modern city infused with mystery and the supernatural, a place where anomalies and paranormal phenomena exist alongside everyday life, then Ghostwire Tokyo is almost a mandatory recommendation. There are no gacha mechanics, and there are no anime characters in the traditional sense. But when it comes to the atmosphere of a modern city colliding with supernatural forces, Ghostwire Tokyo is the title I consider closest to the lore DNA of NTE out of every game on today's list. At number 4 is Tower of Fantasy. This is a shared open-world MMORPG available on PC, mobile devices, PlayStation, and Steam. Tower of Fantasy is particularly interesting because it has a close connection to NTE within the gaming ecosystem. Both games were developed by Hada Studio, which means you'll notice a number of similarities in their design philosophy and overall approach to world building. The biggest difference is that Tower of Fantasy leans much more heavily into the MMO experience, with large-scale online interactions and a true shared world, whereas NTE leans more toward a story-driven single-player experience. If you enjoy NTE, but want a game with a stronger sense of community and online multiplayer interaction, then Tower of Fantasy is the most natural choice. At number 3 is Zenless Zone Zero. Hoyoverse describes it as an urban fantasy 3D action game, and I want to emphasize the words 3D action game. It is not turn-based, which is a mistake I still see a lot of people make. ZZZ places you in a city with an incredibly stylish and fashion-forward aesthetic. The characters are highly distinctive, visually striking, and supported by an art direction that remains consistently strong throughout the experience. It's similar to NTE in the sense that it combines a modern urban setting with supernatural anomalies. It's also similar in its fast-paced combat and character-based team composition. The biggest difference is that ZZZ does not feature a true open world in the same way NTE does. Its structure is much more level-based rather than focused on free-form exploration. If you're drawn to the idea of a city shaped by supernatural phenomena and love a strong sense of style and fashion and character design, then ZZZ is a title you absolutely shouldn't overlook. At number 2 is Wuthering Waves from Kuro Games, officially described as a story-rich open-world action RPG with a high degree of freedom. WUWA isn't particularly similar to NTE when it comes to its urban atmosphere, since its world is far more post-apocalyptic and nature-oriented than city-focused. However, it comes very close to NTE in one major area: combat. If you enjoy dodging attacks, parrying enemy strikes, executing high-speed combo chains, and mastering a combat system with real depth, then Wuthering Waves may actually be even more rewarding than NTE in that particular aspect. This is the game for players who love NTE because of its action combat experience, rather than its city setting or gacha systems. And at number 1 is Ananta. NetEase has officially confirmed it as an urban open-world RPG, the new official name for the project previously known as Project Mugen. If NTE is a supernatural urban fantasy, then Ananta is the most direct competitor in the entire gaming landscape when it comes to overall concept. A modern city, anime-inspired visuals, freedom of movement throughout an urban environment. Everything that makes people fall in love with NTE is something Ananta is trying to deliver in its own way. This is the title I'm watching most closely outside of NTE, and it's also the game that I believe the NTE community will be paying the most attention to once it receives its full release. To sum it all up, if combat is your top priority, then Wuthering Waves should be at the top of your list. If you're looking for strong city vibes, then Ananta, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Spider-Man 2 are the 3 titles you should try first. If you're drawn to art direction and anime aesthetics, then Zenless Zone Zero and Infinity Nikki are excellent choices. If you want the ultimate city sandbox experience, GTA 5 remains the gold standard. And if you want to better understand the open-world gacha RPG DNA that NTE is building upon, then Genshin Impact and Tower of Fantasy are two games you simply can't ignore. If you found this video helpful, be sure to leave a like and drop a comment below telling me what you'd like to see next. Should I make a list of games similar to Ananta, or a list of games with the strongest anime GTA vibes? Let me know, I read every comment.